They physically built the sets of this game and then layered 3D models on top of them. This is not like 3D modeled locations. If you haven't heard, Hironobu Sakaguchi's Mistwalker released an Apple Arcade exclusive game called Fantasian. If you don't know who that is, he's the guy that originally made the Final Fantasy series. I played the first 5 hours of this game, and while I am only 5 hours in, I wanted to talk about what I am loving about Fantasian and also what I'm not. The first thing that I love about Fantasian is that it's beautiful, gorgeous. They physically built the sets of this game and then layered 3D models on top of them. This is not like 3D modeled locations. All of that are physical dioramas that they built in the real world and then filmed and then layered 3D characters on top of. It is stunning, just even from the title menu. However, there is a lot of 3D animation going on, and I actually think they nail it. There's a good chunk of the game so far that involves a cruise ship, and while you're running around the cruise ship, yes, that is a physical model of that cruise ship that they have built. However, when you actually arrive to your destination, the outside of that ship is made in a way that you would expect any other video game to as well. And when there's some battles going on outside the ship with your character and the bad guy character, all of that looks traditionally like a video game, but parts of it are layered on top of the image of the physical dioramas. And I think that they nail it. They kind of make it work. What also worked pretty well for me and kind of surprised me was that it plays very well on an iPhone, but still feels like a AAA title. I had a couple issues with the sort of pin-based touch and walk system, but not so much that it really hurt my play. The touch controls actually added a lot for me to the combat system. It made it feel not just like another kind of Final Fantasy type RPG. What's really been working for me is that because Fantasian is an Apple Arcade original, it's required to support the iPhone, the iPad, the Apple TV, and the Mac. And it's also required to have iCloud saves. This means that I can be playing the game on my Mac, and then when it's time to go to bed, I can load up the game on my phone and play for a few minutes before going to sleep. Well, I needed to break in here and say that, just kidding. If you play this game on your Mac and then you play it on an iPhone and then you go back to the Mac, it will probably erase your save data. I had this happen. I just lost 5 hours of gameplay. I'm basically starting over from the beginning, only an hour in. And I called Apple. They couldn't do anything about it. And now I've emailed the developer Mistwalker, and I'm hoping to get a response. There's at least one other person on Twitter who has also had this issue. So what I'll say is, it sounds like that if you play this only on an iOS device or an iPadOS device, you could probably go between those two, then you're fine. Or if you only play it on your Mac, you're probably also fine. But I would not go between those two devices. I have not tried playing the game on the Apple TV yet, but I have used a controller with my iPad, and that worked just as well as the touch controls did on my iPhone and my iPad. Something I think a lot of people will like is that Fantasian is very much a throwback to kind of Final Fantasy VII style RPGs. We'll talk in a bit about some of the detractors there, but I'm really enjoying it. As a person who never played Final Fantasy VII when he was a kid, I'm sorry, but only tried to play it recently, I found that the game was actually pretty dated in terms of mechanics and really couldn't get through it. Again, I apologize. This game kind of gave me that same experience, but without having to deal with the fact that the game was actually made in 1997. And lastly, I find the story pretty interesting. They've got this mystery kind of going on with these relics and with this mysterious Mecteria. And also I find the villain Vam the Malevolent to still at least be intriguing. I mean, we'll find out if that lasts through the rest of the game. But before we talk about what I don't like about this game, if you're liking this video, please like it on YouTube and tell me in the comments if this sounds like a game that you want to check out. Doing both of those things helps more people see this video. And if you want to subscribe to the channel and you want to see more of this face, that is great as well. Now on to what I don't like about Fantasian, and I will start out by saying the writing in this game, especially of the women characters, is pretty tropey and honestly very dated. The game so far, at least in its first 5 hours, features 2 lead women, and they are both positioned romantically towards the lead, Leo. Leo, as is common in the era of games that this game is referencing, has amnesia, and therefore he doesn't have much of a personality. Now, these women knew him before, and theoretically, this romantic attraction seems to be about the person they knew. However, the only glimpse of the before Leo that I've seen so far kind of felt like a discount Cloud. He's just kind of an angry thief character. I'm just saying it would be nice to see a woman show up in this game, maybe even be the lead, who wasn't there almost explicitly to be romantically involved with the lead man. And another thing I don't love about this game, and it actually references how I was talking about that this game feels like a throwback to Final Fantasy VII in a lot of good ways. But one of the bad ways that it makes that reference is save points. In 2021, on my iPhone, I am playing a game where I cannot save until I reach a save point. That is nuts. I won't get too deep into the details of how the iPhone manages memory, but let's just say that I know someone who swiped over to his camera and came back to the game and had lost progress. He thought the game would still be there in the background, as you would. However, the iPhone's camera actually takes up a lot of memory. It probably closed the app. Point is, why doesn't it just save as you go? There is no reason that we need save points in the year 2021. And honestly, with the iCloud issues I've had, save points make this even worse. Now, if you're playing on your phone and you are somewhat committed to playing the game and not doing other things on your phone, I do find that save points show up somewhat regularly, so it's not so much of an issue, but do know that if you're gonna play on your phone or even maybe on your iPad, you're not gonna be able to do anything else on the device while you're playing the game. You should definitely check out Fantasian on Apple Arcade if you've got a subscription or if you want to try it out. Even though I had those negative things to say about it, I am still having a good time playing this game. I still recommend you play this game even after the iCloud issues that I've had. Just maybe stick to just iOS devices. Like I said, I never finished Final Fantasy VII, but this is very much giving me those vibes, and it has me interested in Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, which is another Final Fantasy VII remake that is coming to mobile. If it plays anything like Fantasian does, I am very interested. So do check out Fantasian. Like I said, it's on Apple Arcade, and if you have a bunch of other Apple services, they actually have a bundle called Apple One where you can save a bit of money. If you want to find out if that's worth it for you, I have a video right here that digs right into that question. In fact, I'll see you over there.